So I guess we can just go like in a circle, and you're going to write down how much everybody did and what they did.
Yeah.
Well, what would be the creative part that would like classified as?
Well, we could,
I guess it's also data collection, kind of. You could
research and data
internal
collection.
research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That would be like £25 for an hour for everyone.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to assume we've done about an hour each. Yeah? Has anyone done more than
less
that?
than an hour.
Yeah?
I definitely did. I did.
Well, I was going to say let's break it down into 15-minute gaps, so you know, because once you get down into minutes, it's just getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
But if we break it into 15-minute gaps, we can save in the places where we can, and you know, we might lose out a couple of minutes here or there, but it's fine. So yeah, just Tawi, give us an idea of how much time you spent.
45.
You said
It's
data collection, right?
Yeah. Well, you look up yourself how much it was.
Yeah, that's fine. It says 25, right? Yeah,
I spent half an hour.
on the same thing, yeah?
Yeah. No research.
You see?
Research, half an hour.
Well, research is also data collection. That's the same.
Hank?
About half an hour.
Same thing. Like data collection, same thing. Pretty much what we've done this week, everybody, right? Half an hour. Yep. Yeah, I've done about half an hour, put half an hour. And you about the same?
Yeah, but I don't get paid, so just leave
Oh,
it
that's
out.
right.
We're missing one, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she has a headache apparently.
Yeah. Just write down her name and then
We'll say 30 minutes for her too.
Well, we should probably ask.
yeah, she'll be here for the lecture.
Yeah, she'll be here. She's just
Oh,
missing this
okay.
meeting.
On
Alright.
cam again.
Well, we'll just put 30 minutes as a baseline, and if she's done more or less, we'll just adjust it later. That's fine. Okay, that's fine.
So do you think that during this meeting we should go around and we should talk about what we've all come up with creatively?
Yeah. I think the creative people should start, and then the research people can join in and like saying, for example, that we shouldn't do this because that exists. Or so can like everybody who did the creative part put their hands up? Okay. So I'm going to. Or who wants to do the minutes this week?
Everyone looks at you.
Can I see the minutes after you've done them so that I know what they're supposed to
Like
be?
how you meant to do them. Yeah, I mean, they will probably be a bit messy, so I'll write it up a bit, but yeah, I'll show you.
Okay. And well, I basically had like one main idea, and it was like, it's like, I know that sites exist, that like you can look up one country and what it is like, but because it says also like something interactive or something like that in our product, so I thought we could do something like where you select the team members, like from which countries your team members are, and then it shows you like not like general things from each country, but what issues could arise between those nationalities, kind of.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you would put like in my team I have like someone from Thailand, someone from China, and someone from England.
Yeah, and then it would, for example, pop up that it's like the English people are not that concerned about relationships like the others, so be careful about that, for example.
Okay.
That's good.
That's
That's
good.
really
And I
good, yeah.
haven't found anything like that while researching actually.
Okay.
I think it's more brief, like if you want to find out a country, you just click the country. But like, if you can't put it within a team, stuff like that.
That's really good, actually, yeah.
So what would you consider it, like maybe stereotypes or finding out their, finding the
Like,
world?
Well,
their culture basically. Yeah, I guess.
It would be tight. It would be slightly stereotypical in the sense that, you know, because you can't generalize everybody, but it would be slightly. But that's this is
Yeah.
unavoidable.
But it's still
Yeah.
educational for you to know like issues that.
Yeah, I think when we do this, we shouldn't use like stereotypes that exist between people, but more like the stereotypes that exist in business relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that as a central point, we need to try and keep it to business. But there is an aspect, however, that would affect, you know, certain people's backgrounds and upbringings would affect how they operate in business. So although we need to keep it as business, we do need, in order to understand the relationships that we'll build between people from different cultures, you will have to understand where they come from.
Yeah.
So as long as that central point is business, we can make sure that we don't stray too far away from there.
Well, I think also business research is also focused on the culture. Like for example, I forgot the name of the researcher, but the one who did, for example, the high context, low context. It was hit something. For example, like that we use things like that. Have you heard of this before? Like low culture, high context.
High context.
Yeah.
It rings a bell, I can't remember it right now.
High context is like
Yeah, I think
when
Hitzberg maybe. But I can look at
Herzberg.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was it?
Herzberg, is it?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not sure.
I'll just
But-
put it down as like a
Yeah, but
reminder.
I can look it up for next week. Exactly what it was.
Just to like feed into that, when I was actually researching, I found this website where you literally click on a country and it will come up with so much information. So obviously there's going to
What
be
was that website? 'Cause I think I like found something.
I've bookmarked it. I can't think.
Is it this
I've
one?
Country Navigator. No, TMA one.
I think actually,
No, I didn't see that one, but I
I
feel
think
like
there
there's
are a
quite
lot
a few.
of those
I've got
because I just typed it in.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah.
Like, did you go on the
TMA.
demo and everything? It was pretty good.
Yeah,
No,
TMA well, judicially.
I haven't seen this one, but I found like key W interessential something.
Quintessential. I think
And also broad business culture.
Yeah, see, I think there's quite a few, and I mean, I
Yeah.
think even BBC News and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
But it's all like all the same thing. They all do the same thing. Also, what I saw from those two.
Well, I was actually thinking about see where I went down the road with our stuff is the kind of the structure of the program itself and how you could engage the user, because I think one thing we need to do, especially on the innovative side, is not make it boring. You know, I mean, imagine just being on a computer program and just sitting there. It needs to be like engaging and interesting and stuff. And going back to the BBC part, the BBC has loads of documentaries and has loads of kind of video clips of various things. So I was thinking, as a marketing strategy as well, and something where we could kind of integrate something else, we could maybe try and link ourselves with the BBC so that when somebody is going through a program associated with, say, India, for example, there would be various things that you could, like links that you could go to see what it's like there and see the things that are related to the type of things that you're learning about, you know. As a structure, it's all in my head in terms of that, but I'm trying to, I think we should start out as like a general, importance of, understanding culture between, colleagues and stuff, and then break out into the sectors in which, like you can see, break out into like, if you're Chinese, Indian. I think in this part here we could incorporate what you were saying about the group members, and then once the norms and once the cultures are understood by the user, then bring it into a more central kind of learning process, which would be the same for each topic. Do you know what I mean? It's really hard to get it out of my head, but is it making sense, or are you completely lost?
I think maybe instead of going from general to like one of each country, you should maybe go from general and then like teach people about. I just found a few headings on. I know I should be speaking because it's the research bit, but I just found a few headings to think about. So like hierarchical versus egalitarian, and like formal culture versus informal culture, and then maybe use examples from like high and low contexts, And then say like, for example, like the UK is a very complex culture with like black lives, blah blah, and like there are quite a few titles which I think we should maybe educate managers about first
Definitely.
before we then say, here you can click on a country and see how this country
So you think
operates.
something like that would just come in kind of this section first
Yeah.
before they go more specific?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And actually that might be a good place as well to integrate this part that you were talking about before it goes specific. So you could be you're almost leveling down. You're going from a very general type of, you know, just understanding culture to the various topics that surround business, and you know, and then more specific to relevant to the country. Because the reason why I think having a specific kind of element to it as well is because then it'll be two directional. It will be able to target expatriates going abroad from, like, say, the UK to other countries, and also target the people coming to the UK or coming to another country. So it wouldn't be focused on people just coming here or people just going to a place. Do you know what I mean? It will be useful to anybody going anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Just clarify though, are we doing it for, because I don't know, when I was looking through and trying to research, I was like, right, I'm not sure which avenue we're kind of going down. Are we actually creating a solution for an individual moving to another country? Or is it...
It's for
It's for a
managers
company.
within firms.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but then now you're saying people like expatriates and things are moving away.
Well, yeah, I mean, if
Is it for the workplace
well,
or the individual?
I'll give you an example which is relevant to it, and that's my mother-in-law is head of HR for a company called BG Group, and she is actually in charge of about 4,000 people, and she controls expatriates. She's head of HR for Central Asia, and so basically they have people moving to offices all around. So it's still part of one company, right? But she has to address these type of issues all the time. You know, she has to make sure that these type of people that are moving from the Kazakhstan office to, I don't know, the Germany office. She needs to make sure that these people are well equipped to suit and will be able to make the transition and still be able to perform at the level that, you know, so...
I don't think it should
Not
just
get
be
lost.
suited to that though, because
Oh no,
also,
definitely
like,
not.
for
But I think it needs to be, in terms of like being a global market, it needs to, you know, if we go for something too specific and too, you know, or just for this type of company, we might exclude the global market and we might slash our target market by half. You know what I mean? So if we aim to accommodate these big global companies, we'll then be able to, you know, specify it down to the slightly smaller companies that won't be on that scale. Whereas if we go too small, it'll be harder to make it bigger. Does that make sense?
So, would you say it's for the companies to actually give to the individuals, or... I mean, I just don't want to lose sight of our
I
target.
would say it's like almost a course that the managers can go on,
It's
so
like
that they know how to handle situations and like use their team.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our target market are the managers themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else did creative? Elise, Anastasia, and you was it, and then was it Hannah as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Oh, no, I think research.
Oh.
But what I also wanted to add, that for me at the moment it sounds like too much, and it seems to me too complicated. Like what I felt like the general bit, like you said, like do it like the beginning introduction, and then I wouldn't do like separate pages for each country, because that exists and that would be a lot of work, but rather you come then straight to the area where you can type in your nationalities, and then you have somehow in the database we have like the individual companies and with their characteristics like high context, for example, but the user don't actually see that. They only see, like when they search, they see the clashes. So for example, one is high text context, one is low context, and then so we do the search, then the user sees the clashes problems, and then maybe like links to where they can read about those problems.
And address them,
Yeah, for example, if it just says like high context clashes with low context, so they might not know what it actually is.
Mhm.
When I was on a really good interactive website that I found, and I could use a demo, and it was about high and low context cultures, or I can't remember what it was about. But anyway, it would teach you like a few things, and you would click like next, and then it would say, oh, it would give you a scenario, and it would say, you have just employed a new cleaner who is from like Thailand or something. Sorry, I don't know. I'm going to say South Korea. And you invite her to have dinner with your husband and your family. She like at first declines, but you push her into having dinner with you. You can tell that she's uncomfortable, but you feel like you want to include her, kind of thing. Your nanny quits a few weeks later. Did you do something wrong? So it's like asking you to be like, oh, did I do something wrong? And then obviously like, yes, you did something wrong because you didn't understand that that's not how like that would happen in our country.
So it's like a quiz kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a quiz. Like it teaches you and then it asks you about a certain aspect.
That's
I
interesting.
think those are quite useful quizzes as well. But I know a lot of websites do that. So if you
Okay,
want to go
okay.
on the more unique approach,
Then it's already been done.
it's already been done, but
What,
it is
what
useful.
type of, how are the quizzes kind of laid out that you've seen? Are they like do all of the research and then have a big quiz?
No, it would like, so say a point like hierarchical versus egalitarian, it would be like basically like 3 slides almost, and you would press, and it would have like a few points, you just say press next, and then it would say like question, and then you'd have like 2 questions like what I
Yeah.
just said, and then you would answer them, and then it would like explain to you like why that had been an issue and what you could do to make it not be an issue another time.
See, does everybody agree that that sounds like a good idea, just off the top?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds educational. Because we can't, I mean, as much as unique as we want to be, we still have to integrate some of these, you know, I mean, these ideas that are already out there. They're obviously working, they're obviously good ideas. We don't want to use them all, some of our own techniques, but we'll have to use some of them. And I personally think that that's really good, putting yourself in a situation where you have to think, you know, so it's key to understanding different types of problems.
Should I, because obviously we don't have to decide now, but should I give you guys the website so you can see what it was?
I just think it's probably the best way to integrate the person actually like
It's
doing the
interactive,
research,
isn't
it?
because it makes you think. Like rather than just reading all this, you know, stuff, you could just.
And it's also transferable. I mean, you know, the same question, other people from different cultures will be able to answer the same question and have a completely different like thought process about it. You know, because they might be from another place, so they'll know what to say, or they'll know that it might be conflicting. I have a great story actually about some cross-cultural thing. You'll probably get this too. But my wife's from Kazakhstan, and we had a meal once. There was 3 couples, and we started to. My wife was cooking dinner, and one of the guys from Kazakhstan I'd never met before. He came round. He bought a bottle of whiskey, right? So we had the shot glasses on the table, and he's, you know, we got everything served up, and he poured the shot glasses, and so like, said a toast, and we drank them. It's like, all right, so we carry on starting to get the dinner ready and everything, and he starts pouring them again, and I'm like, what's this guy doing, man? We haven't even eaten yet. And so I'm like, all right, cheers. And so everyone's like, okay, cheers, drink. And so plating up the food now, getting ready to eat. He starts pouring them again, and I'm like, this guy's crazy, man. What's he doing? Long story short, we basically polished off the bottle by the end of dinner. And my wife come to me later. She said, why were you drinking that so much? I was like, don't look at me. You keep filling it up. I said, we're in my house. I'm not going to back down. You know what I mean? And she was like, no, in our culture you don't leave the glass empty.
Yeah.
So and so I'm sitting there thinking, to me, if somebody pours you a shot and hands it to you, you drink it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
What were
but
you supposed to leave it?
you're supposed to leave
Yeah,
it because it's
if you don't want them to pour in more for you, you leave a little bit at the bottom, so
Yeah.
it shows you I have still something.
yeah.
I don't need more, but if it's empty, it says I want more.
Yeah.
And also, it's like what also important when there are girls, the men are responsible for watching that the classes of the girls are always full because girls don't fill up themselves.
Yeah.
So, and they don't ask, so the men have to be careful and watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I've been stung. I was stung by that for a long time. But yeah, and it was a proper catch-22. I'm sitting there thinking this guy's crazy, and he's sitting there thinking I'm crazy. It was like, it's just a good, funny story. But yeah, it's.
Yeah, I know. Like I heard a story, like also like misunderstanding story between America and England, like after the war. But I'm going to tell you that after the meeting if you're interested in it, because I think we're wasting too much time.
Yeah.
otherwise. Okay. Yeah. About this part, I just wanted to say because we do actually have to integrate some video-based material.
I've got an idea with that though. With the quizzes, I was thinking maybe we could film like a situation instead of having like a passage where there's a situation. You could film the situation
Yeah.
together, and then they could go, was this the right thing to do? And then you click yes, and then if you say yes, then another
Yeah.
situation comes out. I think
And
that's how we
narrator
could incorporate
explain,
it.
like the situation
Yeah.
before the video as well.
You could do that kind of like a voiceover.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that'd be a really good way of incorporating video, and that I don't think is really done on websites.
But
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah, and this would like sorry.
didn't we say that we're going to do like a mobile application sort of thing? So by having videos, wouldn't that mean if they were on, say, an iPad and they were using it, they wouldn't be able to do videos as quick sort of thing because they have to fuck with videos and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
Is that something that we need to think
4G's
about? Because we're
coming,
not actually
so-
making
Yeah.
it.
We could do the
Well-
mobile friendly stuff.
Yeah, yes.
But then if it's for a workplace, is it necessarily going to be on mobiles and things like that? I mean,
Well,
sometimes
iPads
workplace-
might be.
Yeah, but sometimes they're like, you can't use your iPad and phones unless like if it's not secure enough and stuff. I mean, I know
Yeah.
people use them in the workplace, but I'm thinking if it's going to be something in the workplace, it might be more laptop
I feel,
based, computer
I
based.
feel like maybe not mobiles at all, but laptops and perhaps iPads.
Yeah. But it's not something you're going to do 10 times over, so in a
No.
way, why do you need it on your mobile or your
Yeah.
iPad? You'd
Yeah.
only really do it once
Sure.
or
Well,
maybe a recap.
actually, but maybe we could just readdress the phone situation to having so the app you wouldn't be able to do the program on the app, but maybe you could have an app with almost like reminders, kind of, to say like, you know, if you
Yeah.
are in the situation, you could just pull it up and be like, oh yeah, this situation, and it, you know, so it wouldn't be the program, it would just be kind of like a help guide or something, you know.
Yeah, and I think that also when you put in like all the nationalities, maybe this could be on the app as well, and then you get like the results, and if you know what it means, you can use it straight away. If not, you will have to look it up properly. You will learn it or study it at home anyway, because you can't spend that much time on studying at work. So, but we could like, I think the search, we could incorporate it into the app.
I think this is core, what you said about learning between the groups and the different nationalities of the groups. I think that should be one of the main things that we make sure that we sort out, is because at the end of the day, managers don't care about stuff that's not associated to them. They just want to know, okay, is this person going to get on with this person, and what's the problems going to be between these two?
Yeah.
That's what they want to know. They don't want to waste any
Yeah,
time.
they want to have it practically and not too much theory.
Yeah.
So I think it would also be good that they have the results, and if they're interested in learning more, they follow it and learn it. If they don't, they just have the results.
What about having just something else I thought? What about having a follow-up kind of coursework? What sparked this off with me is my wife just did a course, and the course was only a week long, but she has to survey. She's done a energy efficiency surveys on buildings, and she has to do 15. She has to survey 15 buildings by the end of January and send those off to the course. Now the course was only a week long, but she still has to keep sending them in. So maybe I was thinking if we did, maybe they could bring up situations that arise after they take our course, after they do our program. Maybe they could submit a few actual situations
I think
that
it's a
have
nice
occurred.
idea, but realistically, I don't think managers are going to have that time commitment. I think they want to do it and then they want to forget about
That's
it.
it.
But I
once they've
think
sorted it.
we can still offer it like as, like at the very end, saying if you're interested in sending us in new situations, please feel free, but nothing that they have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free if you want to tell us like how we've helped or
Yeah.
what we could do better.
Feedback,
Yeah.
I guess,
No,
at the end
that's
of the day,
a good
isn't it?
We could do like just one follow up.
One follow-up.
Yeah.
We could do it. I think it would be. See, I know what you're saying about they want to do it and just be done with it, but that kind of defeats the object of what we're doing in a way. Just in the sense that if we make a program that they just want to do and then forget about it, yeah.
Yeah, but they're not going to forget about it because they're going to have learned things.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna keep recapping it, they're not gonna bother with that because it's like really that's not the main part of the business. They want to make sure people are gonna get on in cultures and stuff, but they actually that's not business really for them to make their profit and stuff. I don't know. I mean, I know when I was on placement, we had this thing called BCG. It was like business conduct guidelines, and like you were saying, they had a video, and it would be like a scenario, like Paul comes in and Linda does this and that, and you had to click on, the answer like what you thought the best like situation would be, and then if you didn't get it right, you'd have to like rewatch it and make sure you got the right answer before you could proceed. And they did that every year. So every January after Christmas, every employee in IBM would have to do that course again. So I only did it once, but I know that it's quite a good idea because you actually recap each year, but it's not something where you have to necessarily give feedback as such. Like you just kind of look over it again, but yeah, it's not.
Yeah, also
So you get like a
just-
certificate at the end as well to say that you've done it, and then your manager gets a report, like just to say, Elise Clark has completed this course, so they know it's done.
Also, once they've got our like interactive learning tool, say if their team changed or whatever, they could do what Anastasia said, where like compare their new team to see what kind of things could come up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was also what I was thinking, because I don't see it like a process that you do once, but one that you like constantly supports you every time your team changes. You can learn something new.
Yeah.
Could we integrate something to do with high performance teams? And like, what about if you expanded that to say you have your team, which you said, input the team, and then see what problems arise. Maybe you could input your employees, like as a bigger scale, and then maybe we could have some sort of software that would group these types of people together in the sense that to see who would work best. Do you know what I mean?
And then isn't that making like the organisation too?
Also, you
Yeah, it'd be a
can't-
suggestion. It
You
wouldn't be
can't
like
always
this is
work
what you
with
do.
people you're going to work the best with. Like you're always going to have to work with people that you don't get on with, or
Of
you
course.
have loads of differences with.
Of course, I mean that goes without saying. But still, it will give you an idea of like if you have 10 people and you need a team of 4 for this specific task, you could just I don't know, put all of the people in there, put the task there, and it would suggest.
But don't you just want to use the 4 people that are going to do the best at the task, and
But that's
usually
it.
solve the problem of them getting on by doing that course and understanding cultures and
Yeah.
moulding your team, as opposed to just bringing people together who
Yeah,
get
the
on well
best
anyway.
ones and things.
Well, it's not just about getting on well, it's about skill sets as well. You might need somebody
Yeah.
who does finance, somebody that's good at marketing. So all of these factors would be addressed.
But then aren't we going too much in a computer-based tool that managers they might use if they're firing people or something? They might be like, well, these people don't work together well from this tool. But like, I don't know, it's only computer-based, isn't it?
What I think it's like it would be kind of too much to do both, but I like the idea. So maybe we could do like now our product is like the ones where you learn how they can work together, and we can say at the beginning, for example, at the end of our presentation, for example, well, we have an idea for a new product that would help the managers choose their team. So like kind of
I
something
suppose,
planned
yeah,
for
we
the
could just
future.
entertain the idea as to something as an extension to what we're doing, but we won't actually do it.
Why
It
not
won't be fun.
offer different packages? I mean, on Business Point you can offer the basics, and like they can buy the basic package to just show the basics, and then you can pay more for having certain different features sort of thing.
That's a
If
good
you want
point.
Because to say if we did want to do something more complex, it would be more time consuming for us as well,
Yeah.
so we'd have to get money from somewhere else.
Yeah,
So offer
that's a good
different
point.
packages which they can buy.
And it's also the way that things are going these days. Is they come in packages, and that's a really good point.
Yeah, well, I would do this like, for example, if you want to do it in packages, that this is like our base,
Yeah.
and then we say that in the future we're going to add this add-on, and if you want, you can like kind of buy it, and it's going to be linked to the project front before. Is that what you mean? Kind of?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
I think that's a great idea in turn. Just because we can show future revenue and we can show like some sort of sustainability, rather than just doing one program. That program will probably be only useful for a year before you have to upgrade it. Just like all the books that we pay £50 for every year, the same books. You know what I mean? That our program, so we could actually show some sustainability there and say, well, actually we'll be releasing this feature come this time, we'll be releasing these 2 features after this time, and we'll constantly be making money on it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Guys, can I say we've just got 10 minutes left?
Yeah.
So
And we're
has
just-
anyone? Okay, well, I was going to say, has anyone researched anything that they want to talk about that they haven't talked about yet? Or creatively?
Since I did something, and because I thought about the marketing and trying to attract trying to catch the customer and catch the clients, right? So I was thinking about like if we could add, since we're gonna do the website learning assistant tool, so like I've seen some videos on YouTube and stuff. There's gonna be like a video, and it's actually exists already by the company that trying to encourage the international diversity and stuff. And it's gonna be like a comedy, like funny video about like how differences the culture are, and have like a few of the examples. I'll just keep going. For Thailand, there's we are known for like our smile.
Yeah.
Like when we don't know something, we just smile back to show that like okay we don't understand, but we're trying to like get to you and trying to understand you right now. And there was one time a friend from Germany. This is actually the real thing. Real thing happened. A friend from Germany. He came to Thailand and he was like driving, and then he got hit. Like another car hit his car in the back. So he was like getting off and like got all like mad and stuff, but not that mad, just like grumpy.
Yeah.
And
Frustrated.
yeah, and the driver was Thai in the back was Thai, and he was like getting off, and then he couldn't understand English that well, and he couldn't speak German as well. So he was like just smiling, and the German guy thought that, oh, are you laughing at me?
Yeah.
So and the Thai guy didn't know what he was saying, so he just smiled even wider. So I was like, stop smiling. And yeah, so and the Thai guy, when he heard that, okay, and he thought like, okay, this German guy is getting really mad now, so I'm gonna like trying to show him down. So he just started like smiling at his best, like give his best smile to him. And what happened is like the German guy punched him in the face, and that was and he got all the police and everything.
I think that we should make room for something like that, because otherwise it would just be a boring program.
And yeah, because when you watch this kind of video, it's kind of like entertaining as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I keep
Like-
you engaged.
I think it definitely should have some sort of element, but it might take some work finding these type of
Yeah, thinking them up.
yeah, but yeah, I think it'll be
Yeah.
fun, and I think we should definitely make some room for that, because it'll just make it interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe at the start, maybe closer to the start of the program, we would just to lighten the mood, you know, and just to kind of introduce people into it, and then get down to all the boring, serious stuff. Yeah.
I actually have a few of the examples.
Do you have like a website with these things on?
I think you have to find them separately, but I'll try to post it on the Facebook group.
Well, if anyone's bored and like just scanning through YouTube, just spend more time looking for something like that, just cross-cultural, you know,
Funny.
barriers and stuff, something funny. I don't know.
I'm gonna put the website that I found.
Can you write on this?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna put it on the group, and also I'll put like which buttons you need to click on, because there are lots of different types. that you can click on.
I still cannot get in this group, by the way.
Where are you?
I don't know. Every time I go there, it's got find groups. It's got the Oxford Brooks groups thing with the picture, and then it's got find groups from classes, and that's it. And then at the bottom, it's got the email saying resend, and I've resent it. And the only thing I can think of is that my Brooks email is not linked to my Facebook.
No, but that's why you had to link it.
Okay.
When you signed up, did you put in your Brooks email address? Because that's how how you linked it. Well, that's how I linked
Did
it.
you confirm it and stuff?
Well, I went to my email, I clicked the link, it took me to my settings, it asked me to put my password in to save the settings. And I did that, and then
But did you have to like type in your student number and stuff? Because
it was already like there, it was already highlighted. I must have done it when I like tried to get in the group. Because when I got to my Facebook settings, it had my like Brooks email address there. And then it asked me to put my password in to save the changes. And I did that, came out, clicked on my groups on the sidebar, and you know, clicked on the Oxford Books groups, and it took me to that same page, but I just can't go anywhere on that page. It just says, and then it's got underneath like that you guys have joined this kind of Oxford Books group.
we can do it now. We've got 10 minutes. Go
Yeah.
and log on, and we'll come out and help you join.
Cool. Oh, sorry.
So is this kind of the end of the meeting?
Sorry, I should
Yeah.
have just been like,
Yeah, let's go now.
Yeah. Well, actually, I just wanted to do like a summary so that
yeah.
if I'm just going to tell you the idea that I have at the moment. If I'm saying something wrong, you correct me.
Yeah.
And it may be helpful for you also to, if you know something that you haven't written down. So we're going to have like a general introduction page. From there, we have like the thing where you can write the nationalities and search for them, and you get the conflicts that may arise. Then from those conflicts, there are links where we're going to have the thing that you actually learn. And yeah,
One sec. Let me just get
learning thing, I think we're not really clear about it, but what I like if we like combine the ideas of Lucy and Ria, kind of that we have the video, and then after some point you have to decide what you're doing, like so that it's both the questions and the video incorporated. And yes, about the app we said that we can't do the actual learning there, but we could do the search and what was the other thing?
Like the reminder, like, what was this, another point?
Oh, yeah, if you did the search already, kind of something like that, reminder. I can't really remember.
What, the
Yeah.
reminder app?
Yeah, so not actually having a program
Yeah, well,
as such.
well, you can have the problem to search the problems, but you can't choose the difficulties and learn about them on the app, because
Yeah.
that wouldn't work with the video.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything that I missed?
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh, about the marketing videos.
Oh yeah, marketing videos about like
Having a bit of comedy.
like
yeah.
funny
Okay.
scenarios.
Yeah.